What's up, guys? This is Wenzes. Welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I think I haven't done a video for a week now, which is a long time for me, but things are definitely gonna change. I just don't know how yet, because January's been crazy. Like, so much stuff has been just happening and things have been manifesting and just blessings coming everywhere. And so I don't know how much more I'm gonna really focus on just the business side and really do videos. I'm still gonna do videos, but I don't know if I'm gonna do them once a week, if they're going to be like INFJ specific. I just gotta let it go and like see how everything turns out. But yeah, everything is good. Everything is going great. And I wanted to kind of keep you up on date, specifically because I want to share with you the things that I learn, so that helps you. Oh, look at this. Like, this is weird. Like, I want to share them with you because there's like so much that's been going on that I know has everything to do with the way I look at things and the way I change my mindset about things. And then like ideas come up that I haven't even thought about yet, because I had some kind of unconscious commitment to like some stuff. As I said, I was not gonna earn more than a certain amount, or I'm not gonna have that certain action in my life, or that certain like, you know, joy or whatever it is. Like, you know, in general, I'm all about uplifting, but everyone has some kind of limitations. And specifically the last month, I've been like looking into this so much. I've been learning so much. And although I've been like, you know, working so much because I had, you know, the videos every day, stuff has been happening. And then I thought, okay, let me kind of transform it into the whole INFJ perspective. What of this is actually maybe most typical for INFJs that I can talk to you about? And that's what I call the INFJ advantage, like right now. Because the thing is this, one of the things that a lot of INFJs can do is to change the emotional atmosphere for them, but also for others. So you know how they say like, okay, when you're around an INFJ and like you're more in a close relationship, the INFJ can really change your worldview. So you can really change the way you think about the world, or, you know, like all of that. Like if you're an INFJ, I'm pretty sure you can't like really tell it from yourself, because it's not like your world changes because of other people so dramatically, unless you're like really willing to change it. But that maybe you've seen how other people just change once they're around you, and things just happen because you need to be very close to people in order to have that kind of effect on them, and then to help them to get into like this new mindset that just makes them view the world differently. So we all know we see the world differently, and we all give certain things a meaning. And you can have the same two like situations and be really grateful about it. And like the one person is really grateful about it, and the other person like really thinks like, oh, that's horrible. So having that mindset that you can actually change so rapidly how you think about certain things is the advantage I'm talking about, because a lot of sensors have more difficulties with that. There's like specifically like this and judger, like, you know, I would probably say introverted thinkers and judgers, so like INTPs and ISTPs probably have it like the hardest in this aspect. But, you know, I've seen it with the feelers as well. But I mean, like the whole thing of, this is who I am. This is the kind of image I have of myself, and I cannot just change that. You know, that kind of stuff is actually easier for INFJs. And this can be a bad thing, because then you're really, like, people can influence you, you're impressionable when there are people around you who do not give you a good feeling about yourself, right? So especially like as kids, if you've been in situations where you feel like, okay, that's the kind of environment I saw, and that made me feel that like my personal like image about myself is that I don't know, I'm a victim, or I'm so different, nobody understands me, I'm always too much for people. That's a certain image we hold. You know, we can be impressed with, like, especially when we're kids, and then it sticks with us. Like, for example, I always thought, you know, I'm too much, I'm too complex, and so on. But the thing is this, I kind of choose to believe that, because I surround myself with people who give me that feeling over and over again, or I used to, right? So I can like go somewhere and, you know, say, well, most people, they're not, you know, they don't think like me, so that makes me feel like different. But if I actually am completely, or I'm making this conscious commitment, I learned this from Marcy Locke. I'm a huge fan, just so if you know, look her up. If I'm making the conscious commitment to say, well, I'm not too complex, I like the way I think, I can share this, then you're naturally gonna be drawn to people who you can share this with. And then, of course, you're not gonna feel like you're too complex because you don't even have any contact with people who give you that feeling. And the same thing comes with like when you feel like, oh, I'm always attracting narcissists, there has to be an unconscious commitment that you say, well, I don't deserve, or like, not that I don't deserve better. It's not even like a matter of deserving. It's just like, subconsciously I have to have committed to have those kind of relationships. Otherwise I would be just like not talking to anybody, not respecting anybody who acts like this, and so on and so forth. And so the whole INFJ thing is because, you know, this can be the disadvantage, but the advantage on the other hand is that you actually can much more easily change, you know, the view you have of yourself and of your world. So if you, for example, feel like, you know, you make that conscious commitment that you say, well, I'm not too complex, or I am really happy in all my relationships and so on, the easiest thing to do is then like cut out every single thing that is not that. And sometimes it looks like you're gonna be all alone in the world because not one single relationship is not impacted by the way you've seen that. Right? So for example, let's say every single relationship you go in, you always go in with the fact, I'm the hero, I'm the martyr, I'm the one who, you know, like sacrifices for others. This kind of behavior you'll find in all your relationships to some degree. And then to say, from now on, I'm making a conscious commitment, I'm gonna care about myself first, I'm gonna love myself first, and it's always going to be the person that is most important to me is going to be me. Because I know in the end, the more I do this, the more I can help others and so on. Like those kind of decisions, like you can decide what you want to believe. And as INFJs, it's kind of easier to get that way, to understand like, okay, this is like how it has to be. Like, for example, let's say I'm not like making a certain amount of income, right? Just like, I don't know, like let's say $50,000 a month. Okay. There are people who are making $50,000 a month, and it's not like they like, you know, are working that much. Like you can have people who like work 80 hours a week and are making 3,000, and there are people who are making, I don't know, working 30 hours a week and are making 50,000. Like you have everything, but there has to be something in me to this point that I don't feel yet, so to say, this is the kind of money I'm committing to, right? So there has to be a subconscious commitment, and we all have that when it comes to money, when it comes to friends, when it comes to all kinds of happiness, also like gifting yourself. So, but there has to be some kind of subconscious commitment to say, I'm not going over this. And I can tell you this happened like during the last year, like it was so obvious to me because like, let's say the last years I was doing my videos, you know, I was being consistent, I was, you know, doing my coaching, but all of that, I kind of like was hoping for, okay, the videos maybe are gonna be seen more, or, you know, like just more and more people are gonna get interested in coaching. And so, but that was kind of like a linear thought of, okay, it's gonna get better, but it's gonna get better just from the compound of time. But now, like, since I've been like looking so much into this, I kind of got to a point, well, actually, I have to expect more. I have to like exponentially go for things that have the chance to make this a bigger thing. And that's when all those great things happen that I said, okay, I'm just gonna offer packages now, you know, that like prepaid packages. I'm just gonna offer, you know, or like, you know, single sessions. I rebranded my ebook, you know, that's like, you know, it's been sold like so much more often and like to a like price that is like better. But like, the biggest, you know, the online course, and now I'm gonna do the INFJ retreats, because the INFJ retreats, that has like the possibility, opportunity to be more for me, right? And the last year, I wasn't even thinking of these things, like all of those ideas. Oh yeah, and I'm like doing options, like there's, like as I said, there's just been incredible things happening in January, and only because I looked at this and said, well, I have to consciously commit to something and then ask myself, well, what would it take? What would it take for me to like earn that kind of amount this week, for example, right? What would it take? And once you do that, then you kind of like consciously commit to being a new version of yourself, and then you turn into this version. Like the first, and then because you're like kind of become this new version, then you have all of those ideas that didn't even come to mind last year to me. I wasn't even thinking that that was a possibility. And now I consciously do this every day. Like that's also what I do in the online course. So they're like the 5 pillars. And you know, if you buy the course or not, like it's good for you to know them. The one is physical energy management. So what can you do in order to feel like your best physically? Like who do you want to become? Like you just commit to being a person who goes to bed at, I don't know, 10 o'clock. You consciously commit to being a person who is in the best shape of their life. You consciously commit to somebody who's really into meditation because it really changes your mind. Relationships, like it's just, I don't know. And then, like for example, relationships, I always wanted to have like this close like set of friends who are gonna, you know, they have to be everything to me. And then I realized, well, I can't expect an all or nothing approach. I can see this friend, I gain with that friend fun when it comes to working out. I gain fun when it comes to having like a secure relationship. But with that friend, I don't have like the excitement yet. But I also want excitement. So either I have another friend who I can share excitement with, or I think like if I want excitement, why does it have to be in my relationships? Why aren't my relationships more of this thing that is secure for me? And then I think of, okay, what else can I do that brings excitement to my life? But in order to do that, we really have to start consciously committing to changing ourselves. Like, and that's possible. Like this whole thing of, the first step for me was changing from being a martyr to a person who says, I'm always gonna care about myself first. And that was something I never allowed myself because I thought it was hugely unattractive. I thought it's hugely mean. It's like, not something you want. And the moment I made that decision for me and it worked for me, right? I was okay with it. I knew that I'm not gonna feel guilty for feeling like this. Things started happening. And then I consciously committed to other things. And it just spiraled like this, like up. It's just unbelievable how exponentially things show up just because you're kind of open to the idea of that as a possibility, you know, and then like you do the actions, and it's just completely mind-blowing to me. And I've seen how I've been looking like for this certain type of relationship to have, and with time I realized I'm always chasing like a ghost. Like that's not what's gonna make me happy. Like, why don't you consciously commit to finding this, and this, and then you see, if you still feel like something is missing, then see how can you yourself make sure that this is happening. So let's say you're in a relationship and your partner is just not somebody who gives you gifts, right? So when I was younger, like my first relationship specifically, like he just didn't give me gifts a lot. It was just not the kind of relationship we had. And I, of course, at the same time, wasn't pointing out I want gifts. I kind of felt like why should I get gifts? Who cares about gifts? That's just materialistic. When in the end, giving gifts is like a way of showing appreciation. And what I changed was to realize, well, it doesn't matter if the person, even if you're with a personal relationship, if they're giving you gifts, if you're not willing to give gifts to you. Because in the moment where you say, well, the only way I can, have a gift is somebody else decides on their own fruition that I deserve a gift. But the whole changing the mindset thing is about realizing if I want gifts, then I should make that conscious decision that I think I deserve gifts even if other people don't think I deserve them. And if we're not able to make that switch, then all of those things are not going to happen. Then we're also not going to be able to turn into this new person, because you're going to be different. You're going to be different, but you're going to be happier. You're just going to be happier. You're going to be a new version of yourself. It's going to change so much. And that's the whole, what I call INFJ advantage. You can sit down and you can decide much easier than other types to become a new version of yourself. To say, I want to be a person who's like this. And if there's still parts that you feel like, well, they're missing, but they're actually beautiful, there's something, for example, excitement. Sometimes I learned that in a lot of ways I need security. But the price of security is a lot of excitement and so on. But for me, it was realizing, well, I'm gonna put a lot of my excitement or risk into my business. So my relationships, my friendships, my family, dynamics is secure, because I want that more. If I had to decide something, do I want all my relationships to be exciting and all over the place, or do I want my relationships to really be like my support system? When it really came down to what it is, it was like more important to have like, you know, home, to have all of that. And that does not mean that I'm gonna give up excitement, but I don't give up certain boundaries now that I know are important for me to feel secure. And if I want excitement, then I'm gonna get it through something that is not that close to my heart. Like, I love my business, you know, that's my baby, that's my thing, but you know, it's not like a relationship. It's not like, you know, it's not like something that can really tear me apart if it's not working out or not, right? Because if the business doesn't work out, then I say, okay, I'm just gonna switch things up and do things like this. And also the same way, like, I always wanted to help people with my insights. And at some point I realized I had to change from doing it for my friends and relationships that are that close that they have a kind of effect on how I feel about myself, you know, because if I stop helping them, I'm kind of like, and doing it for me, but not for them. So it's not as easy. And now I know with my friends, I want friendships to be level-headed. Like, that's just most important to me, because then I feel like secure. And then when I'm in my business, or even when I was still working and I had people working for me, it was important to say, well, I kind of like do the shots here. Like, that's my baby, that's my business. This is how I do it. And you know, and if I have coaching clients, you know, I know that it doesn't affect like the way I feel about myself. There's not this dependency. Because there's no dependency, I can do my job much better. I can really help people much more and get them to a better place. So I really want you to think about this. How can you consciously commit to what kind of person you want to be? Where do you want to live maybe? What kind of job you want to have? Like, to just like write them down first and to really say, what would it take for me to be a person who feels like this? And to be okay and not so scared if you feel like, oh, you're losing something of yourself. If it's like really something that's within you, that's part of you, that's good, you're gonna find it somewhere else. And if it's something that is just like feels like home, but it's not, you know, it doesn't feel good, once you find a new home, you're not gonna miss it. So, you know, for example, being you know, put down can feel like home, and we can always feel like, oh, we need those kind of relationships. And then the moment we realize and commit to, I'm not going to have any kind of relationships who are like this, that probably this putting down part is not going to be, you know, you're not going to miss it. And if you like the fight, then you can have it in the fight of saying, well, I'm gonna start like, you know, I don't know, committing to something, and I wanna like be an Ironman, or I wanna create that kind of business, or I wanna, you know, become a writer. And the process itself is going to be, you know, it's gonna require tenacity. It's gonna require you to stay strong, although there's stuff happening. But then it's like it's on an outer level, you know, the more secure things you have inside is security, happiness, peace. And then everything else is just on top of that. And that happens once you really, really start realizing how much you can change the way you view yourself. And to like, you know, also tell yourself, it might not feel like it, but you know, for me, I have to say, I subconsciously have made a commitment that I don't care about earning $50,000 a month. That's just fact. Because if I did, I would have thought of things. You know, it's not like I've been trying to like make $50,000 for a month for 5 years and I just haven't found a way. I have for now not once said to myself, this month, what would it take to make that kind of money? Of course, it takes a minute. It's not like you're gonna jump like 10,000% in a month, right? In general, where you are. But like to say like, what would it actually take, and not just wait and do the same thing over and over again and for it to happen. Same thing with relationships, same things with like what you expect of your body, you know, and so on. So yeah, so just please look into it. And you can like also look into, as I said, the online course is launched now. So even if like, you know, it's really, really good, like I got really great feedback on it, go check that out. But even if you say, well, I'm not ready to take that step, I don't want to really like change my life that much that I'm willing to commit to it like this, you can still see the curriculum, you can still see the introduction, you can still get like ideas of it that will help you to kind of like, you know, jumpstart the whole process. Or you can, you know, if you want to know how everything started, go check out the ebook. Or as I said, like, you know, coaching packages are, you know, a great thing anyways if you want to like really, really get into it and really start like changing your life. And I like my clients, I'm so proud of how everything's been going on, and they've been like, it's just like incredible how well they you know, they grow, and what amazing things they're doing. You know, I'm protecting their privacy, so I'm not saying like anything, but I wasn't prepared, I think, for how well like they will do once we work together. Like there's just been really, really great things happening, and I'm so happy, and that gives me, of course, the confidence to say like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do this. Because like, it's just unbelievable. Like, it's not unbelievable, I want to say this is normality, because I don't want to put that kind of energy in me, but you know, there's just like amazing things to come. And as I said, we'll see how I'll do the videos from now on. Maybe it'll be more about like me just talking about like what's been happening this week. And the next thing is definitely going to be the INFJ retreat, and I'm gonna do it in Bali, in Barcelona, in West Coast, East Coast, USA. And then I'm gonna need like email addresses just so I know who's interested, right? Because I think right now, like at first glance, it has to be at least 30 people like for a location for it to be worth it. And it'll be a weekend thing. It's not gonna be a get together. It's like really gonna be a retreat. So more about, you know, relationship, like talking about like optimizing relationship, life design. Then I have like a friend who's probably gonna do like some yoga in the morning, meditation. We're gonna have like a party, like a theme party, something. Yeah, but those are all things I want to plan, and I'm really excited about. I have a travel agency with me that is going to organize everything. So yeah, that's going to be fun and interesting, and I can't wait for this year. I'll wish you all a great week, guys. And I can't wait to talk to you again. Much love. Bye.